Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is December 29th, 2022, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of today, Apple making new lows for the year during this time of the year. That is something of noteworthiness. We're going to get to that in just a second, but no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the major pairs pretty much unchanged and looking at the indices. The Dow Jones trades lower while the NASDAQ also slightly lower. Now looking at commodities, gold and oil pretty much steady. And as we're looking at the stocks, will Apple lead the rest of the market down? That's the question that we need to answer. We're going to try and look at that today. And lastly, Bitcoin unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to start out with the Euro USD. I just want to emphasize how much of a range we've been in. I mean, we've been in a 30 to 50 pip range over the past couple of days, over the past week, I would say. So it's been really very, very tight. If we look at a daily, you could see it. It's just a line, basically. And that happens during a time of less volatility and less uncertainty in the market, or less money being pulled in and pulled out, just because it's, you know, that time in the year and that time in the season. There has been some activity in the Forex markets, okay? Yesterday we saw some activity on the downside, okay? And now we're just seeing a little bit of a trickle up on the Japanese yen, okay? Not a big deal, nothing I would focus on, because lots of other places to focus on, okay? Especially the US markets. I'm looking at gold, really steady at 1805. And this again is kind of reminding me that we may see ourselves really just popping out. Just keep an eye on it. And looking at crude oil, you're just trickling down here to $78 a barrel. Again, nothing to write home about. It's, you know, within a tight range, a couple of dollars, nothing really to jump at. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, okay, check out what happened yesterday. When we look at a 4-hour chart, we've pretty much created a resistance area at 33,500, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened yesterday. We tumbled from 33,500 to 33,000. Now, is it a big deal, 500-point move? No, but it's a move nonetheless during a holiday time season that I wouldn't have necessarily have anticipated. Now, looking at the tech stocks, the NASDAQ also lower, not by a lot, slight, but this is where the question comes up, okay? Because when we look at Apple, look at what happened. We made new lows for the year. Now I'm looking here at a daily chart that's kind of zoomed out, and you could see it all the way back to February of 2021, almost 2 years of data in front of us. Now we hit a high of 176 and a low of 129 before this, you know, before this takeaway. However, we're breaking it lower to 126. That is very, very important to note, okay? Now, it's not a big low, but it's a low, and it has some decent amount of volume as well. So keep that in mind as this is making a new low. This may pull the rest of the market. Now, we looked at Microsoft. It traded lower, but not to the lows, okay? It should have been somewhere in the 214 if it was really very weak, just like the Apple stock was. Facebook also traded lower, but looking at the FANG stocks, this is what's happening. They're making lows, okay? They're coming closer to their lows also, which is, you know, disheartening. Both Amazon and Google are showing tremendous amount of weakness at these levels, okay? So this is really very important to keep an eye on as this is progressing. Excuse me, let's zoom out a little bit and see, but you can't see it on this graph. But it's very important to take note of this because this is all happening at the same time as the rest of our markets are coming down as well. Now, lastly, I'm going to look at Intel because that is that bellwether that's just slowly creeping. Okay, it's so slowly creeping towards its lows, and then it just falls out of bed, and then the rest of the market kind of follows. So just keep an eye on this because going into next week when we start trading again, when volume comes back, we may see some pressure on the downside. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, really unchanged week today, 16,550. It is what it is, as they say. Okay, so just keep an eye on it. If it does pop above, either 17,000 or below 16,500, we may get that day where it just, you see kind of activity come out all of a sudden. But in the meantime, it's not doing much. Okay, so just to cover that. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.